Okay. This is better. Hey, it's Speedy. Okay, I guess I can unmute myself now.
Let me
Can you hear
mute.
me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yay.
So many
Awesome.
camera angles.
I know. I know. So many camera angles, but to be honest, I'm not that excited, not that happy with the quality of it on Discord, but it's all fine. It's all fine.
I don't think it will be any difference if we use the Skype because
Mm,
it does blur sometimes. It depends on the connection, I think.
yeah, I guess, but I see there is like a white thing happening. So I guess it has to be some settings, but it's fine. We still look pretty.
Maybe. Nah.
All right, so I guess let's get started.
Yeah. Let me get myself comfortable because lady here over here just getting all fancy, and I'm just. This is all set up for you guys. Deal with it.
I know.
No,
I
it's
was
good.
like telling her that I even have like new socks on me and everything.
No, but it should be
but
okay.
yeah,
It's just a conversation between friends.
of course, nothing more
Yes.
than that. Okay, so let's get started. I guess the first question, to be honest, is actually you brought it up when we first like spoke and when we were planning everything. Like,
Yeah.
what were the first impressions when we heard about COVID and everything, when it all started? Like, how did it made you feel?
It
You're
was so.
yeah,
Hello, you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah.
Uh, um, it was a weird sensation. You know, we were. I think everybody was kind of hearing about it even months before. But when the actual news was like, okay, we have to go on lockdown, it was like, what? But why? We are healthy though. Why you don't just lock down people that are not that healthy? It sounds mean, no, but what I mean is it's the first time maybe in history that actually everybody has to go in lockdown, so nothing goes wrong, even though it didn't help that much. But yeah, and
But
I was okay with it.
how did it make you feel like once let's say, I guess like at the beginning it was like, yeah, we will see how it happens, and I guess nobody was like
I
really
was like
aware of,
that.
yeah, of like what was like about to happen, and perhaps the impact that is will actually have on like emotional level and psychological perhaps. How did it affect you personally, like emotionally and psychologically?
Beginning, I just didn't expect anything. It just hit after on the road. Let's say I didn't grasp the idea of it until my boss literally called everybody and said, "We need to put you on how you say that. They call it leaving. Like you are
Yeah,
not technically fired, but you cannot work."
yeah, on a
And
leave term.
yeah, thank
Mm.
you. And that's when I was like, "Oh damn, this is serious." I got scared. That was my first impression. After that meeting with our boss, that's the first impression. I literally got scared. And after that, it was more like a deeper sense of death because my family is far away.
Mm.
So maybe I overestimated my health. Like I'm fine, I'm gonna be okay. But then I was scared because of my family. And in the long term, it was more like, damn, now I have to deal with myself.
I'm sorry, I
I
don't mean to
have
laugh.
to deal with myself. I'm so used to get distracted either with the phone, with the computer, or going out, going to the job that I have to be in the house and just deal with myself.
Mm.
And that was weird. That was weird. Even though I'm normally a person that likes to be alone, this was like you are forced to be alone. with yourself, dealing with yourself, with the thoughts and everything. It felt kind of apocalyptic. How about you?
Yeah, it for me it actually hit me quite hard because like I'm the type of person that I do enjoy being around. It's not that I don't want to say that other people don't enjoy, but I love being around people, and I kind of like take my energy from from activities that I do with people and just conversating and so on. And it was actually at the time when I was moving cities. So it happened exactly when the lockdown came. I was moving from one city to the other. So I had to like I was alone. Like I didn't have no one. And okay, I was in a relationship at that time when it happened, but in terms of friends or activities or anything that I could just like get my head out of my mind or like or the emotions that I was feeling, I didn't have no one. So it really hit me hard, like yeah, really hard.
It's like it hits differently because you are a foreigner in another country.
Mm.
It's a question.
If well, I don't think it's a problem that I'm a foreigner in another country because like it's not my first country living abroad.
Right.
But it
Right.
was the fact that everything was locked and I didn't have the possibility to meet new people and to make new friends in a new setting. So I was just stuck in the house with starting a new university, um, not having who to share my thoughts with. So I was like all the day like studying, sleep, repeat, basically just to keep my mind away from myself, basically, and all my thoughts that were coming at that time. So, yeah.
So in your case, you didn't really like have the little fear of your brother, for example?
No, I didn't fear. I was fearing at the beginning, but like I know that I'm not empowered to do anything, to be honest. So I was fearing that um I was fearing a lot that I will get it, to be honest, because I know myself that I have bronchitis, and I was just imagining all sort of things like, oh my god, if I'm getting it, I'm not gonna escape it for sure because of all the news that were out there. So I was like really in a lot of like nightmares every day and being like really aware of everything.
Yeah.
But slowly, as the time progressed, I stopped watching the news because I saw it was affecting me a lot. And and yeah. How about you?
I don't really like to follow on news because most of
Mm.
the time our things are bad. Most of the times. And it's true that it's good things too, but in this case, I have this wishful thinking that if everybody does what it takes for this to go away faster, then maybe we could be finished by less than a year, actually.
Yeah.
And you know the situation when all the students are misbehaving and the teacher is like, okay, you're not going anywhere unless you all sit down and stay calm.
Mm.
But then one says, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Oh, I need to go, my mom. For give you an example, it felt like that when summer came because technically it's supposed to be a lockdown. So if we can actually wait at least this summer to let all things calm down, maybe we all could go back to normal life, let's say. So in that case, even though I was like fearing not to get the the illness, if anything, I would care about my parents. But it was mostly like I was going through a stage of anger towards everybody because it's like, why you cannot just behave for once so we can all have good results in the end. I was so like, maybe it's just selfish thinking, no? But I was I was frustrated with people in general. I was frustrated with everything in general in the world, and people were not just. I was mad because people were not thinking the same way as me, and maybe that doesn't sound good, but that's how I felt. I
Yeah,
just thought that like a punishment, or okay, we're going all everybody together in the punishment, and then we can get out of it. But no, it doesn't apply to everybody in the same way.
yeah, I understand you. I felt the same because like if, as you saying, like if everybody will just follow the rules and will just stay out of, let's say, trouble and tame yourself, discipline a little bit and just like stay in one place and not be like a little child, or I need to do this, that. But I guess everybody was dealing with this situation in a way or another. And many of us, we did panic, like for example, the toilet paper disappearing from the supermarket.
That is way too funny. It's like food fine, but toilet paper? we have water and soap. Like, you are fine, people. The toilet paper was kind of a funny experience, actually. Going to the supermarket and everything was empty, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, but I guess we all have certain fears in our within ourselves.
Yeah. But... Indeed.
Okay, I guess my next question will be like, how, like, once everything happened, yeah, all these nightmares and all this, let's say, anxiety and panic and everything started to like kind of like settled once in lockdown, how did you manage, how did you cope with them, and what did you do?
I don't know why when we were thinking about this question, I was struggling how to answer it, because it was more like a try everything and at the same time try nothing. I was thinking, should I just keep myself busy, read more, draw, dance, stream more, try to communicate with people more. And also at the same time, I was like, but I don't want to do anything right now. Because my mind was set up in a like, well, you will have to just wake up whenever the time and eat and do your things, and that's it. So it was weird. I tend to suppress my feelings and trying to address them in a logical way, but it was just weird for me. I don't know. I was trying to do things, and at the same time, I wasn't trying too hard enough, and I wasn't like, when you're doing something but you don't know what you're doing. that's what it. That's me. The last summer, no idea what I was doing. I was just trying things to see if it if it was keeping me motivated, and putting aside whatever issues I had on a personal level. So that was me all the way after summer.
Yeah.
And I after summer. So,
yeah, sorry.
And after summer, I was like, I cannot just keep on doing this. Maybe I cannot physically do a lot of things, but maybe I can just work on things that I've been putting aside. And that's when the past comes in again. And it's like, you forgot about me? No. Now you're gonna fix me. Okay, fine.
Like, I'm still here.
I ain't going anywhere.
But this is the thing, because like in these type of moments, especially when like things happen all of a sudden and we know we don't have it planned, and it's just hitting us, and we don't have like nothing as a backup, let's say, to distract ourselves, then that's when everything just like come over you, everything that you've been suppressing, and it can be very, at least for me, it was I don't know how to describe it, but it was very, maybe infernal, that will be a word.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, but more than overwhelming, but yeah. Okay, so I guess that for you it was more like it was just like all of a sudden, like, oh my god, everything is stopped, what am I doing now?
Yeah, but I at the same time I'm grateful though. I'm utterly grateful. To find your pieces in out of your comfort zone was actually very, very helpful in having uncomfortable conversations with the people that I needed to. I have still conversation I have to have, but yeah, one at a time though.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
At the beginning, I know exactly what I was doing. Now that I'm thinking back, I was distracting myself way too much with all forms of things, gaming, streaming, studying, especially. Oh my god, studying was like a big part of like my distraction. And sometimes I was just catching myself just to study, to make me feel that I have a meaning, because I started feeling like not being around the people, I felt like I had no meaning. Like, I just like, who am I? You know?
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
my identity just like went like this, you know? So I started doing loads of things to get myself distracted and kind of like find myself in something. But then I realized I was just trying to avoid all the negative thoughts that were coming at me, and I guess also like body pains. My community knows already that I am like dealing with some body pains, which formally the doctor says this can be arthritis, but we will see. There is still some tests that are going to be made, but that was also a big part of my, let's say, suffering. But then what I saw, I was just identifying myself with pretty much everything that was giving me a meaning, you know? So it's just all over the place. I didn't know how to tackle it. I have to admit it. I didn't had it. I was a chaos, you know? Like a cow.
Yeah.
I was like a hurricane of everything, and yeah, and then I actually then started experimenting with fasting. I started fasting because I felt that I wasn't like slowing myself down. I was like pushing and pushing. I was not accepting what was happening in that moment, you know, the lockdown and everything. So I was just like on like, how can I, you know, like Duracell, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah, you know, like this just to get myself distracted. And I said, enough, I need to fast.
I need
So
to fast.
I need to fast. And I fasted once for 3 days. And it worked really well. It brought me back to like, you know, to my spirit and everything. But after like 2-3 weeks, again, the cycle started back again. And then I tried again, 4 days this time. And then
4 days, wow.
Yeah, 4 days. This was very hard, but it did work. But somehow the cycle, it was coming back, you know, after some time. It's like you're taking a pill to like solve something, you know, and then your whatever the virus you have in, it's kind of like creating its own defense mechanism. It's creating resistance against whatever you're giving it, giving to like, you know, suppress it or get rid of it. This is what was happening actually to me. Whatever I was doing, like it works for some while, but then kind of like, I don't know if like my spirit or my consciousness is like, oh no, you are not done with it. Like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
like this is not so easy. This is not that easy. So yeah, and I guess I guess that's it for now. I don't want to go much more in detail because I want to keep it for later on.
Fair, fair.
But yeah, basically this is what happened. A lot of chaos that I went through, and I guess being alone didn't really help. Like, to like, you know, maybe have like a group of friends to lean on. And I have to say I was crying a lot, and I was a lot in like, let's say, depression, and anxiety, and yeah, it was interesting, I will have to say. It was scary at that time, but now that I'm staying and thinking back, I think it was it was part of the process.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, ultimately I think it has actually forced me to like be in the moment and accept, stop forcing and changing the situation and the circumstances around me, and just be one with it and accept it as it is. Um, but it took time.
Yeah. Even we are all like trying to slow down in trying to control things that we cannot control and deal with the best we can, especially with honesty, because sometimes you go through things and you just want to control everything. You just do it for the sake of, okay, it's done, I'm gonna forget about it. But then it hits you again, and you're like, maybe I didn't approach it the way I should have before, and now I have a second chance to do it in a proper way. Let's say relationship with other people, whether they have to stay or not in your life, for example. At least it was in my case. And realizing that sometimes, realizing also your ugly side, let's say, then that's something I gained from this lockdown. I will go feeling myself like, how you call this? You know, when you feel yourself that you cannot do no wrong, but when you have so much time with your thoughts, you actually feel like, dang, you are an asshole too. and and it's like at least in my case it was that way. In a superficial level, if I have to like, oh damn, I don't have a job, what am I gonna do once this lockdown is done? But then I was thinking, I'm not gonna die. I have two hands, thankfully. I have my head, my legs. I can do things. I have my head, so I will figure it out. But in the personal level, in a spiritual level, I was completely scattered. I was broken. I'm still broken, and I'm trying to heal. But it is no way easy to find yourself. It's like looking in a mirror and say, "You're crazy too."
Kind of like stop judging, you know, before you look in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Oh
know,
my
I
goodness.
know, yeah. Yeah,
I
but
think in that case we can agree that we were a chaos. Everybody was a chaos at some point.
yeah, chaos. Yes, yes, yes.
And maybe even we were journeying. I think it's journeying the word. Like you wanted to have social connections. Everybody was going through the same thing, but at the same time in a different way. That sometimes I thought myself, should I be actually try to get a bond with people when everybody's broken on their own way? I don't know. I don't know. I was dealing with these kind of thoughts. Like, I'm frustrated with people, so maybe I shouldn't be meeting people. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I guess this is kind of hard because, like, from my point of view, I think this has not just affected, like, you know, the individual itself, but also kind of like the collective consciousness. So it's like, let's say, at a global level or universal level, let's say. So it's kind of hard to like I guess everybody now is kind of like in a race to like try to like find themselves, perhaps. So it's gonna take some time to like find that balance back again, and maybe connect with people that we can open up to, and maybe we can help each other, I guess, to like overcome certain whatever we are struggling with at this moment. But I think it will take time, because this is like an injury, it's like an injury that is being done on a conscious level. So it's gonna take some time to like heal and find that balance back again. But my question, it's yes. My question is it will be like, I think this is the one that you made it. If have you got scared of being alone with yourself? And if you did, why? And if you didn't, why also?
I let you answer that one first.
Oh. Are you sure? Okay, fine. I'll answer it.
Of course.
Yes, I was being scared with myself because I didn't know myself, or maybe I did know myself. But I was scared because I wasn't able to. I had too many voices in my head, and let's just say I was being scared of like, where will it take me? Like, I just couldn't handle anymore the psychological pain, the physical pain, and it just was way too much. And I was scared of myself. I remember at that time I was living with my partner, and I even told him that, like, I'm so scared of me. Like, I don't know what is happening with myself. Like, I have all these feelings that I don't know where they are coming from. Like, I had many feelings that, to be honest, I had nothing in my head at that time, and I was just like feeling pretty much like everything: anger, resentment, fear, anxiety, being hopeless, just everything at the same time. And it was just so overwhelming that I started like having these negative talk patterns. And whenever I was trying to, like, let's say, be better or get well, the moment I was doing something, let's say, wrong, that was it. There was this voice in my head where it was like, oh my God, you're stupid.
Yeah, you will beat yourself up, right?
Yeah, but it was just this self-talk with myself, like, oh, you are stupid, you are incapable of like doing this and that, like, you will not get out of it, and it's like, and it was scary, because I don't know what was happening. So how I started dealing with it, I remember during that time I took 1 week break, even more, from university. I did that in streaming and everything. I just completely isolated myself in the home and just be. And I remember I was like crying a lot and just like not feeling like not able to leave, but like even breathe, it was hard and heavy. And yeah, I guess after some time, what happened, I stopped resisting this feeling, because I was fighting it a lot. I was like fighting it so much, to the point where it's like, oh, you fight me? Okay, I will come back even stronger. And I stopped resisting it, and I started to just like let it come and be okay. What is it that you want? Tell me. You keep bothering me every time. And yeah, and actually I did find out that actually why I was getting all those was because of, let's say, a past trauma that I had, because of my dad. He was telling me all these words that now they were like coming back to me, especially. So, and I think they were there in the back of my head every time, to be honest, because it's just that I never really paid this much attention to it, because I was never alone.
Yeah. You were distracted. Yeah.
Yes. And now that I stay and think, like, even like being around people and every time, I think that was another form of distraction, to be honest. So yeah, I slowly started to strengthen myself and, let's say, not rely on anything but just myself. And I really started looking into people that are in my life and like, okay, why are you in my life? Like, what exchange do we have together? Like, why are we maintaining this relationship? And it's like, is it a one-way relationship? Is it just you giving, or is it just me giving? And really, like, what is the reason that, you know, that we are together? And I'm not talking about like relationship, like loving relationship, every type of relationship.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, I really noticed a pattern that I was the only one kind of like being on top of everybody because I didn't know how to be alone. So I was always like, you know, grabbing on somebody, you know, and then I realized what I was doing, and I stopped this cycle, you know. I stopped this cycle, and because it was affecting me, you know, like if nobody was calling me for like a week, and I talk like best friends or brother or so on, I was getting like, I was feeling like I don't mean nothing on this world, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh my God, like if I die tomorrow, that's it. Everything goes the same. I don't, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like, yeah. And then, but I got rid of this. Like, I've seen the pattern of it and why it was there. So it's, yeah, it was interesting. Your turn.
That was fast.
I know you want to avoid this question, but don't avoid it.
No, I'm not gonna avoid it. I wasn't necessarily afraid of being with myself. If anything, I was afraid of finding out exactly what I didn't want to hear about myself. I don't know if that makes sense, because I also been on therapy. I'm still on therapy. I think it's a wonderful help, and it's this thing about trying to control everything. I always go back to the same issue that I have, is controlling everything.
Sorry,
And
one
finding
second.
out. Yeah,
One
sure.
second. You mean that you want to control everything?
I have the tendency of trying to control everything, even if it's when I know it's impossible. I know in a like a super bad way, like you have to do it this way. No, it's more like I was always operating in a way that I wouldn't bother people or make them mad at me. That's a way of controlling something, and
kind of like pleasing everybody,
yes.
so you don't get them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. And not only that, it's also my also comfort zone. I would been trying to do things in a way that I don't want people to get mad at me, even though it's on their right to be mad at me. That's the kind of things I've been dealing though. And when you have so much time to hear yourself, because that's basically it, you hear yourself all the time, you're talking to yourself, you start seeing also, like you say, patterns of behavior, like you don't want to do something because you don't want to repeat someone else's mistake. In my case, my parents, for example. And then I will see myself doing the exact same thing that they did, even though if I would convince myself that I was different.
Can I ask what
And
was that?
for example, having a romantic relationship like my mom would expect me to, instead of finding something that actually is for me and not because it pleases her, or behaving in a way that it will please my friends, or things like that. Is that's what I mean with trying to control everything. Even if it sounds like I'm just giving myself to people, I'm also not being myself. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes complete sense. I maybe that has to do with like perhaps when you're like very young, when maybe your parents, or I think your mother, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe she was the one where she was like, oh, maybe, don't behave in this way because girls don't do this, or don't get angry because a lady doesn't do this, and and so on.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of like created this pathological behavior where you are just really like controlling yourself from, and you are like really restraining every movement of yours because little girls don't do this, little girls don't do that. So, but I don't know. I think this is one reason, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's one of the consequences of being on lockdown. No, is doesn't belong to each other, but you are just behaving in a way that people will like you, and that's dishonest. If
But
you think
why?
about it, it's like people actually don't get to know you. Well, don't get to know me. And I always been like this. I pop my wall, and if you're worth it, maybe I can show you something. If not, no. And even now, I'm actually filtrating my thoughts because they're really very chaotic. I have so much, and at least in difference from you, you can actually express for my like in a very clear way. For me, is crazy. To express myself, it takes a lot of effort. I have so much going on in my mind right now. I'm thinking 1,000 things at the same time that even telling you this is kind of complicated. So I've been trying to express myself in a way that makes me feel well, and lets people know that that's who I am. Even though it's difficult though.
And what will be that
So
way? What will be that way?
I'm still finding out. It's like I don't
Mm-hmm.
have an answer for that right now.
Oh.
It's difficult. In that way, it's difficult.
But
I
but how will you picture it though? Let's say you don't find it, but do you picture anything?
picture anything.
Yeah, do you picture how you could be different than now, or like how else could you express yourself without having all
Mm.
these filters?
Damn, no. Right now, I don't.
Mm.
You say something I came from the lockdown is I'm going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will plan everything ahead too. I have the capacity to plan things in like if I behave this way, then this might be happening. And because I got used to things happening in the way I would thought of, I was like, okay, this is like this kind of like oh my god. Oh my god.
Exp- oh,
People
I
will be like, what
totally.
is she saying? I'm saying a lot and nothing at the same time. That is my thing. That is my curse, okay?
Wait, are you keeping an eye on the chat? Because I'm not looking at it.
Okay.
Yes, I totally understand you. Um, yes, I totally understand you though. Like, um, about wanting to control everything, perhaps. Um, and not the necessity, but having a schedule every time. And I was the same, to be honest, and I still am like this. Like, I still have a schedule, not that rigid. And if something like,
Yeah.
let's say, if something happens, like an opportunity comes, I will definitely break that schedule and take the opportunity.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, Let's move on to the next question.
What's the next question? I think it was about traumas.
Yes.
Oh damn, traumas.
Yep. What trauma did it brought out? Mm.
My relationship with my mother and my grandma.
Mm.
Not that they are necessary. They are not bad, but they are kind of toxic because there is no boundary set. And also my past relationship, the romantic one.
Mm.
It's a trauma maybe because we are all kind of a result of our environments. So you would do things in a way that doesn't repeat yourself in past situations. And I would just learn how, without knowing, my mom would be gaslighting me all the
Sorry,
time.
can you repeat that again?
Gaslighting
What is
is
gaslighting?
is when, oh, how to explain it? When a person doesn't acknowledge they have hurt you, and then they make everything about themselves.
Gaslighting.
Yes.
Ah, manipulate by psychological means into adopting their own sanity. Oh. That's like kind of like what a narcissist will do.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you know, there is levels and levels of gaslighting and narcissism, and one of the things I was thinking, damn, what if I'm not my mom and I don't
What
want
if
to be? What
what
if
if
I'm
you are
like
not?
no? What if I'm like her?
Mm.
And that's another reason I wanted to go to therapy, because is you try to find your own identity.
Mm.
You have the relationship with your parents, with your siblings, with your friends, with your couple, whatever. But what are you when no one is around? And I was kind of auto reflecting or projecting my mom's behavior on me,
Mm.
because she's been through a lot too. And you can actually see it from another point of view, like, damn, she's been through this and this and this and that. And that's why she behaves like this and that. And she tells me this and that. But it's like, yeah, but she is her and I am me. And that's something I've been struggling to separate all these years, because, again, I will always try to do things to please her. And my past relationship is something finishes or ends, and you're like, okay, fine, technically you are moving on, but then you're still finding out that patterns again, that even though it wasn't physical, I was emotionally abused. So it kind of brought back pain,
Mm-hmm.
because you go through so much. And I'm gonna stop here because I'm gonna cry.
Okay, okay. No worries. It's fine. It's fine to cry. I'm really sorry to hear that, and I can imagine how that felt, and perhaps even to this day. But it's really good that you are looking into it, and um, it's not fixing it because it's not something to fix, but to overcome.
Yeah.
And at least from my experience, what has helped a lot is, you know, forgive, accept and forgive and move on, and not forgive for their sake, but um for your own peace of mind, and for your spirit and soul, because if that one, if we won't let it go, then it's just this we will get stuck and be there. Oh girl, I wish I was there to give you a hug.
Thank you. No, it's okay though. But thank you. Would be nice. Yes, it's true. Forgiving for your own sake. What is so true is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit it. There are things that you have to do for yourself, and still it's hard to do it. Is there is a saying in Spanish that we call that is it is it is heavier the routine or the habit than the love. It's a kind of it is literal translation, but it's not at the same time. It's like instead of doing things out of love, even if that means letting people go, you
Mm-hmm.
are so used to one thing that it's hard to leave it. So it's kind of a constant work on yourself if you have to
Um,
put it in a way.
I understand. I think what will really help to like overcome any trauma, not just bit fresh, old, mm, before you were even born. Um, it's to somehow try to go back and relieve that trauma. I'm not sure if you heard of like NLP practice, but basically,
Oh,
or even hypnosis. Um, but hypnosis will work much better because through hypnosis you can go back to that event that has caused this traumatic event. Because basically how trauma works is like, you have, let's say you have a constant line, going on,
mm,
and everything is nice and peaceful, and then there is, think of it like frequency, and then there is something disturbing it, and then somehow you either, if you overcome it, then you go back to your, peace and quiet, everything rainbows. But if you don't overcome it and you get stuck there, then what will happen, you will actually be like, um you will go, okay, life is nice and funny, and then a trigger will happen, and then you go back there, and then somehow you rebalance yourself or distract yourself, and you are still here but not on a straight line. And then again something else, a trigger brings it, and again you go and relieve that. Even, it's not like you relieve it in your head, but on a spiritual and energetical level, I will say you will relieve
yeah,
it. Yeah.
actually sounds interesting. Actually,
Yeah. So so going back to hypnosis, for example, you go back to that specific event, and you are there, but you don't identify yourself um with that event that happened at that time. So you don't identify with the pain that has brought, or
oh,
um
okay.
yeah, you just look at it, and you see that it's, it's you just watch like a movie, it's like when you
Mm,
watch a movie, are you actually in there? Sometimes you are, but you are not there. You don't feel it, you don't get hurt. And also another thing that really helps is to give yourself what you needed at that time, love, affection, and be your
mm.
own healer, kind of. um
I didn't even thought that hypnosis was kind of a therapy.
Sorry.
I didn't know hypnosis was therapy. We didn't
Yes,
know
yes.
people would do it. That's new for me.
Okay. Yeah, there are many therapies out there that will work.
Yeah. Oh, oh,
And
okay.
let's just say, I mean, for my point of view, for myself personally, herbal therapy won't work,
Mm,
to, let's say, break this or rearrange back again these frequencies. It won't work because it's it's deep embedded into my everything, it's part of like every
yeah.
cell of my body, and I need to go there and somehow kind of like rearrange everything back in pieces, and, let's say, go back in past in a way or another.
Yeah.
And then, you just, put the puzzles nice and tidy, and then voila, like you are, let's say, fixed,
Mm.
on an easier term. But yeah, but hypnosis is good. It's quite expensive. I haven't done it, to be honest. I haven't done it
Oh.
myself. It's just what I've been reading and listening to many people that worked for them.
Mm.
I do want to try it. It's just that, um, I would like to have it in my own language because it's the best to do it in your native
Of course.
language. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If it's therapy, it's fine. Like I'm not like that. How you say that?
Well, my therapy, I have it in Spanish. Like I could have it
Yeah.
in Norway, but I'm like, no, I prefer to do it in Spanish. That's
Yeah.
my mind expression, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yes.
feels
Yes.
completely different when you go into a third language trying to express your emotions, and I'm like, what am I saying now?
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
is a bit difficult. I mean, a bit. It is difficult because many emotions, you maybe don't express them in the right form in another language, but in your language, you will know exactly what that feels and how to express it into a verbal form. Um,
girl, should we check a little bit the chat sometimes? Oh,
yes. No, I told them that after we are done, we are going to like answer the questions.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So
There.
I guess we can stay like another 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
And
To check what was?
and
Oh, it's your turn, eh?
yeah, I'll just speed forward it and say really fast what my traumas were. I'm not gonna go that deep into it, but most of my traumas were definitely related with my childhood. And it did brought a lot of traumas. Like I was I have always lived with this thought that I am not wanted because my mother has actually had to like hide the pregnancy until it was visible 5-6 months because my
Wow.
dad didn't wanted um, a second child basically, and she was forced to like have abortions in between me and my brother. Um, but she did
With my
wanted a
expression.
second. No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. She did wanted a second child, so she endured everything, and she was a lot physically abused, and it brought a lot of traumas. Like you know, I've seen a lot of things that let's just say kids should not see: physical abuse, blood, and heads broken, and nose broken, and cuts, and whatever. But it also brought a lot of traumas, as in like I was a lot bullied until the age of like 12. um and I mean bullied like psychologically, emotionally, and physically by everybody in my family. um that means cousins, uncles, and pretty much, I don't know, I was like a freaking magnet to attract like everybody just like spilled their own shit onto me. um and and yeah, it just brought a lot of that out. And definitely the relationship that I had with my dad, um the fact that he never showed like, mm, I will not say compassion because that's too much to ask from him, but um give some praises, and just be a
Acknowledgement.
acknowledgement and be the dad, because a dad is
Mm.
very important, especially in a girl's life. um because she needs to like rely on male side and basically see that she can trust males, and male is like the strong figure.
Mm.
But not is the strong figure, but it's is that figure, like a role model, which I didn't have that, and it did affected a lot of like, and it's still affecting me to this day. uh Relationships, life, career, everything, but it's good. It's good that I would say this is a positive thing that I've started acknowledging it much more now during this COVID, and I am working onto it, and I start seeing patterns into like pretty much everything, that every choice that I've made since I was age 16, um, that it wasn't actually my choice, you
Mm.
know. So I guess for me it's kind of like I'm not just discovering myself, but I'm building myself from perhaps what I was not allowed to do from a very young age, because I was restricted from many points of view, and even locked in the house, or like, yeah. So yeah, I guess these are some of them. But
Yeah,
it's
some
good.
of them.
So
Yeah.
but it's good. It's good. It's, I see it as a good side, that now I see, like, it's like that moment, like, that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I am, and
It's kind of liberating in that way, right?
yeah, it's
You
liberating,
understand
because
something about yourself.
not just understand, but then at the same time, what happened to me, I started to kind of like be the observer of my steps and actions, and just see. And that has allowed me to like actually understand that, all right, this is not me, and it has allowed me to change and go back, accept, forgive. But one thing that I did stop contact with everybody that has abused me. I'd only have contact my brother, with all the family members and everybody from all sides, and that's it. And that was actually before COVID. I decided to do this, because in order to move from something and to overcome something, you also have to go away from that environment, because
Yeah, actually, yes.
if you'll still be in contact with those people that has made you feel in so many bad ways, it's inevitable, and you cannot control it. It will always bring back those feelings, and you have to just stop it. Otherwise you cannot have both. You cannot have the change and the past, let's say, so yeah. Okay, let's move to the next question. Maybe let's have the last question, I guess.
Yeah, because we are covering almost all of them 10 questions in the way we explain things, so it should be fine.
Yeah, it should be pretty fine. I guess the last question, it will be, we kind of said it, but yes, like, did you get any positive side out of it, and have you learned something from this experience, from from the COVID experience we are talking about, and everything that has brought out, I guess?
In my case, yeah, absolutely.
What was it?
First of all, the earth is literally cleaner without us. We have to acknowledge that we are freaking pigs. So the photos I saw of actually Venice having their waters clean, that was beautiful. It's one of the many examples, of course. And the second one was, even if it's hard, I'm braver to face my issues. I think that's nice. I think it's very nice.
Yes.
What about you?
Yeah, I'll say the same. I'll say I'm very happy that this, I am able to see now, and perhaps, take my life in charge, kind of, like, even if it's like, at this age. I'm 31 years old, by the way, right now. Not many of community knew, but
I forgot you were older than me. What? Okay.
Yeah,
You're
so I know. But it feels great, I mean, like, it just, I guess, no matter what time in space or wherever we are in life, it's good that we get to see, certain traumas, behaviors, or what is it that is holding us back, and because then you know what you are working with, because otherwise, if you just like, if you don't know where all these feelings are coming from, and like why you are being trapped all the time, repeating the same mistakes also all the time, and I don't believe in, it's like, oh, you repeat a second mistake is blah blah blah. I don't believe in that bullshit, because you can You can repeat a mistake 100 times, and it's not because you are not aware of it, but it's because you do have at the subconscious level a program that is actually like, you are programmed to fuck it up, because that's what, in my case, because of my dad, because he always told me, you will never be successful, you will never get a degree, you will go on the streets and whatever, So that's what has been like already, like every time when I'm getting close to success, guess what? I'm fucking it up, because like that's what.
Yeah, self-sabotage. Yeah.
Self-sabotage, yeah, but I'm not aware of that, and that's program that is just like there, but now I know it, so now it's like, it's kind of like working on like, I'm in control of this, and yeah, and take it from there. So definitely having something to grasp on, it helps a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a whole journey.
I know, isn't it? Okay, let's go to the chat. Hey guys, by the way, thank you so much for the follow, Hillary, and thank you for the cheers. Thank you for the 100 cheers, and Hacksnet. Thank you so much for continuing your subscription from Valentasio. Really appreciate it. Okay, do you guys have any questions or like anything that I'm just going over? Keep up the good work, queens. To Ed is amazing. Okay. Zoom is an option, but it's a paid subscription. It's fine, I guess. To be honest, I don't think the quality of the camera is that important. I think the quality of the conversation is the best.
Yeah.
I cannot agree more on getting away from that environment and the people involved. Best thing I've ever done. Yes, exactly. That is that is very true. Okay, we have a question from Apex. Question: how did you deal with the fear anxiety once the virus went from just being on TV to being in your neighborhood? I will say at the beginning, for me at the beginning, I was really scared, and I was just like not trying to get in contact with anyone, and having this disinfectant everywhere, and be like, always on the watch, kind of. But like an old lady. But yeah, but then slowly, as I learned that we have the power to control this, I'm not scared anymore, to be honest. I still wear the mask because I don't want people to like look awkward at me, and I sanitize my hands only because you guys are forcing me into. I do it for you, but I'm not scared right now. So I guess it was just like understanding that it's just a virus at the end of the day, and because I've been sick so many times, I'm like, a virus like this won't get me. Like, I've been worse sick before, so I guess just I had worse times than this. How about you?
Oof. I don't know. I wasn't exactly very afraid of people. If anything, I would be afraid of infecting someone without knowing it. Because there is this thing that there is people without symptoms that can actually spread the virus and blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of scared of that, but not for myself. I don't know why I've been so whatever. I can handle it, but no, that's how I feel. And the over cleaning thing, no, I was only affected that when I was back at work. Like I will have to clean everything. Like normally I'm a clean person and I like to clean everything and putting in a setup. But at work, this virus literally show how nasty people are. Like literally, they will become people, and we have this antibac liquid in every corner of the restaurant, and people would not use it. And I have to literally tell them, use the antibac. You have the bathroom, go wash your hands. Like, what is wrong with people? Excuse you?
I guess here is that, I think what is missing is education, hygiene education, and many other things. So, but I feel you. I totally
Like at my
feel you
house is no
because
problem because I would just stay at my house and go
yeah,
buy
yeah.
what was necessary, but at work, oof.
Mm.
Yeah.
It is difficult to deal with other people's mess, I guess. And and we have another question from Apex. What score will you give your government during the pandemic? Ooh.
I mean,
You know,
our home country, all the countries we've been through, like our home country, Spain, woof, no comments. Venezuela was so rigid, so rigid. They literally went full China mode when the lockdown. Norway, it's been, I'm sorry, but it's been a joke to me. Like, you either tell people not to do something or just let them be. But it's been so ambiguous. Ah, but I guess nobody was actually ready for this.
for Romania, I will give a number 2 out of 10. But
Okay.
For Finland, I'll definitely give it a 9. Like they were really like on point and they shut down everything at the beginning, and we had very little cases at the beginning, but now it's kind of things went out of control, I guess, because people also got a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But now again they are taking charge, but yeah, Romania, it's a joke. So yeah.
Well, and in my community specifically, it's been okay. I haven't felt like engaged,
Yeah.
But the capitals of the every country, they're being kind of crazy actually. Well, I don't know in Finland, but in Norway was kind of like people were not taking that seriously, and they aren't. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, one more question. With all the alone time you had during the pandemic, what have you learned about yourself that's surprising?
Can it be like a silly answer?
Can be anything, I guess.
I guess you can answer the question as well. Don't let me alone. I don't know. I will say I really like to argue.
Yeah, go ahead. I need to close my eyes to like visualize myself to see. Because Apex
I
now
really like to argue,
he
but
posed a
not
really
about
good
personal
question.
things. Like like
Yeah.
I will find a topic and I just want to talk about it. Let's go deep, man. Let's go deep. But that's about
Okay.
it.
So you discovered that you like this deep conversation over just like superficial conversation, or that.
I like deep conversations. I really want to go deep on a spiritual level. I really like that
Yes.
because most of the time, I don't know if it happens to you, but there is a certain point that people literally intellectually they bore me. They are boring. I told that to Elo. He was like, "Damn, why you so mean?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I need the juice."
I know what you're saying, but there is also a saying about this, like it's like frequencies, okay? Like there are people that they are in tune with their spirit, and there are people that they are not in tune with their spirit. So I truly believe that those that they are in tune with their spirit will attract at those that are in tune with their spirit also, and like magnet, like two
Yeah, but
magnets.
both also attract each other. So I don't know. I think we have a level of attracting everything at some point.
Let me answer also this question. So I will have to really think about this. Something you've learned about yourself that's surprising. Yes, I guess the thing that I am very artistic. That was very surprising to me, and it's something that I am like slowly discovering it. So yeah, this is I definitely have some artistic sides which I do have to develop them more.
Mm.
Uh, is there any conversation other than deep conversation? I don't know of it. Okay, one more question. If this happens again, what do you think you will do differently? Hmm. For me, to be honest, I will just be as I am right now, and um, I'll just take everything as it comes, because I mean, we are not in control of the situation. What we are in control is of, here and now.
And
So,
what we can do
and what we can
for
do
ourselves.
at this moment. So I'll just take this opportunity to, discover myself more, and be with me, um, which I am doing it even at this point. And and yeah, not panic, because, like, we've been there already. We know where it's gonna go,
Yeah.
and it's just another phase of time that it's just gonna pass. It's not permanent. Yeah.
Next text says, I
Mm.
discover how many amazing people they are on Twitch because of this pandemic. I would not be on here had it not been for COVID. You know what? That's actually true. It kind
Mm-hmm.
of let out the true colors of people. And you just get to see a side that normally everybody will hide. So that is actually true. When you get to find jewels in this group, it's actually nice.
Yeah, this is another thing that I've noticed, and it's about people. I'm not talking only just about Twitch community, but everything,
Mm-hmm.
all the people that I am in contact with, be it physically or non-physically, verbally. Uh, it's that, and I always say this: the moment that you change, or, like, you go through a certain change, I truly believe that you then see those people that are meant to stay with you
Yeah.
through the change, and those that are not meant, and basically this has taught me a lot, through it also, Twitch community, and in real life people also. All right.
Take a trip to Colombia. Man, that's
Yes,
something I
yes.
really miss. I really miss traveling.
Have you been to Colombia?
No.
No.
Part of my family is from there. I would like to go one day. But the thing
Oh,
is, then I really
yeah.
miss traveling. I really, really miss traveling. And I
I
hope
don't miss it
this.
anymore.
Why? What you mean?
I don't miss it anymore because, yeah, this is another thing that I noticed why I was traveling before. Um, was another form of escaping and running away. Because every time when I had like a trauma with one environment, I was just running away from it. Um,
Okay.
and because of, the subconscious programming that I always have, I was always repeating um, the trauma,
Yeah.
and just repeating this cycle, going and traveling and traveling. I'm not saying I do love traveling, and I really enjoy, and I'm so grateful for everything that I've experienced and learned, and all the people. But looking at it more deeply, I noticed why I was doing it so frequent, Um, so I don't miss it right now, because now I have other work to do.
Yeah, understandable. That's actually very interesting. I miss it
Sure.
just for the fact of traveling and experiencing people
Mm.
itself and places. That's that's something I really miss. I just miss just being around new
Mm.
people that can actually not communicate with me because that's actually kind of beautiful for me. I don't know why.
Mm.
and and the food. Oh, damn, the food. Uh, And just taking photos in general. I really like these kind of things. Traveling is something really, I don't know. It's just nice for me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also interesting how we experience the things in a very different level or in a different way. I think it's just, you see, that's kind of why I like about talking with people is they just see things in a different way, and it's nice.
Yeah. It's I think, even like in terms of many things, maybe how I see this glass, you see it different, or many, many things. But yeah, I guess we're pretty much done today. It was pretty awesome. I really enjoyed the conversation, and always it's so much to like talk about, of course. But I guess for like our first time, we did really, really, really awesome. Now the awkwardness is in.
Well, Swill, just at least we just surpassed the 3 minutes awkwardness.
Yeah. I know. I think we never had an awkward moment, to be honest. Like,
I know neither actually, but we were just joking yesterday. Okay, so you're gonna be awkward for 3 minutes and not talking and stuff. But we have the advantage, guys, that we met each other for over 2 years. So
yeah, so it's not like we just know each other for a couple of months, and like we have a connection, let's say, already maybe built. We can say that.
Yeah, actually, because you've been through a lot, and I've been having my stuff too. Because we met through Purti, right? It was his stream because he trains on the gym. Yeah.
Purti dirty.
And you were on the Counter Strike.
I know. I was like heavy Counter Strike player at that time. Oh my god!
You see how these changed? Damn.
Now I don't even have Counter Strike installed on my PC. Okay. Yeah, one down over, one over and one with. Yeah, we did plan the podcast, so Akron was definitely less likely. But the next podcast, I guess we will have it again next Saturday.
Hey, if you want to.
Unless something changes. But next one is gonna be about self-image and internal conflicts. Yeah, this is what.
Because guys, everything is about conflicts with yourself.
I like